ESPN's Andrew Marchand with Armin and Levac. He is the senior writer for ESPN, covers the New York Yankees at the winter meetings in Nashville. Andrew, what is the top priority for the Yankees to accomplish this week in Nashville?
You know, the biggest thing they want to get is young, controllable starting pitching. The biggest name that's already been floated out there is Jose Fernandez, who, to me, would be a perfect fit, of course, for the Yankees or for anybody, but it would take a lot. They don't want to give up their top prospects, Luis Severino, Greg Bird, who also was successful in his first season as a Yankee, and Aaron Judge. But to me, when you talk about a guy like Fernandez, maybe you include one of those guys, you know, especially a Judge. I mean, I would be real hesitant to give up Bird or Severino because we've already seen them at the major league level. Judge might be excellent. I mean, he's a great kid. You probably have heard 6'7", 300 pounds. I mean, he's a physical specimen. I mean, he could be the biggest thing in New York. But you don't know if he can play in the majors. Jose Fernandez is a top-of-the-line starter, maybe the best starter in baseball, you could argue, or could be the best starter in baseball. You know, that would be something very interesting. Guys are shopping, Andrew Miller, Brett Gardner, Brian Cashman. They talk about if they want to be overwhelmed, but they'll deal those guys. In terms of guys who are attractive to other teams, who they're willing to trade, those are the two guys on the Major League roster who make the most sense, who could go and be dealt from the Bronx.
Is Ivan Nova a guy that could get dealt?
Yeah, as well.
Okay.
That's the problem with the Nova, though, is that, you know, what is he?
Yes.
He's been inconsistent when he's been healthy. Now he's coming off Tommy John. He didn't pitch well last year. Can he pad out a deal like with the Marlins? If you're going to get Jose Fernandez, it's going to take 4 or 5 guys. So, you know, he started that deal with Judge. You add Nova in there. Maybe Mateo, who's a shortstop prospect, or Gary Sanchez, the catching prospect. You know, put those 3 guys as the main guys, and then, you know, a couple of single AA guys to make the deal 5 for 1. Then maybe.
ESPN's Andrew Marchand with Armin and Levac live from the MLB winter meetings in Nashville. Greinke and David Price go for fat cash, man. How does that affect the Yankees specifically when they themselves are looking for a talented arm?
I think it kind of helps the Yankees in some respects because, you know, not with those guys specifically, but in terms of the market being so expensive, teams maybe, you know, are going to be more willing to trade. So a guy like Andrew Miller might become more attractive to teams. Right now, at 3 years and $27 million, that's pretty attractive for other teams, you know, when you consider what, you know, free agent closers are going to probably sign for.
Andrew, what's your confidence level that the Yankees can pull this off and can get a top-tier starting pitcher?
They can do it. It's desire. I mean, that's the funny thing. You know, they're always like, oh, this team can't trade for that guy. Nearly always a team can make a deal for any player. It's, you know, and especially with the Yankees farm system reborn, I mean, they can make a deal for Jose Fernandez. The question is, you know, would they want it? Let's say they say, well, we want 2 of those 3 top guys, you know, Severino and Judge, you know, start this deal. You know, would the Yankees do that? I would say they would not do that. You know, they don't want to trade those guys. So they can make a trade for them. It's just, you know, it's weighing how much you're willing to give up. And, you know, as of, you know, last time I talked to Cashman, I haven't talked to him since he's in Nashville, I don't think they don't want to trade those top guys. But for a guy who's 23, who has 3 years until he's a free agent, to me, you have to consider it highly because it's a question of, you know, Aaron Judge could be great. Jose Fernandez is great.
Your best guess at who's playing second base next year?
I'm going to cop out. I'm going to say it's not going to be Rob Repsteiner or Dustin Ackley.
Okay.
I don't know who it's going to be.
All right, deal.
I feel like they're doing a Bubba Crosby type thing here. I could be wrong, but I feel like they're acting as if they're happy with those guys. They're going to go with those guys. And then, we made a trade. You know, I do feel like they're working towards 2017. That's the only reason not to think that they'll make a trade and maybe they give Rep Snyder a chance to prove he can be the everyday second baseman. But, you know, defensively, he's questionable. And then offensively, I mean, I think everyone acts like he's Robinson Cano. He's not. He might be a good offensive player, but he's not going to be a star offensive player in the major leagues. He could be a good, solid, strong player, but again, not a star.
ESPN Yankee insider Andrew Marchand live from the winter meetings. Andrew, how did Hal Steinbrenner react when he saw the David Price Red Sox deal?
Hal's thinking is that these big contracts for 30-plus-year-old starters are not good deals. And if you look at history, he's right. I mean, now CeCe Sabathia's contract for the Yankees did work out because they won a championship. And you know what? If they hadn't signed Sabathia, they might be going 15 years without a title right now. Instead, they won one in 2009. So overall, if you don't re-up them, if you let them opt out, that would have been a great contract. But it still was pretty good, in my opinion. And you know what? The biggest thing the Yankees have to do is develop their own guys if they're going to be able to really be a that dynasty playoff contender every year going forward, as they've been for basically the last 20.
ESPN.com senior writer for the Yankees. Check out his stuff all week long. ESPNNewYork.com, at Andrew Marchand on Twitter, live from the winter meetings in Nashville, letting you know how all this news is affecting the Yankees. Andrew, thanks so much for your time today, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.